Welcome back to another episode of the Crown and College podcast brought to you by the CSPN. I'm one half of your host, Jeremy, aka Black Dante, aka Confucius, aka Don't Turn on Me Because of My Shirt, aka Niggas Against Coworkers, and I am joined as always by my homie and my co host.
What's going on with you, Iron Man?
I hate you, I swear I do. Put away the Terrence Howard for now. Mine.
Yeah, so anyway, let's start the show. How y'all doing?
Um, Thank you all for joining us again. We are back. This is Crown of Colors, episode 147. Yeah, 147. And we are part of, as I said, we are part of the CSPN network. You can go to our website, cspn.us, and click that podcast tab and click Crown of Colors and listen to all of our episodes thus far. And if you like our show and all of our wonderful shows on the CSPN, go to that click that keep our podcast free tab and shout out all of our many sponsors partnered with our network, and each purchase you make through our website and through our network, a portion of the proceeds will go to the head nigga in charge, classic material, to help keep the lights on, pay for bandwidth, and keep keep this show and all of our other wonderful shows free, so you won't have to pay to listen to me sound like some chicken broth. Yeah, that's think that's an accurate description of how I sound, and I don't want y'all to pay to listen to me talk because I wouldn't pay for that shit. So help us out, keep us free, and we can start the show and keep giving you this southern goodness. And one more church announcement or paying some bills. Like our show, share our show, like our show. Um, get leave us ratings. However you listening to the podcast through your podcast listening device. Whether that's Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, podcast. Leave a review, leave a rating. If you leave a review, we will read it on the air during one of our lighter shows. Been getting we haven't been getting any reviews as of late. Um, so if you're listening and you like us, take the time out, leave a review. We'll shout you out on the air. Maybe talk about the things that you talked about during your review, and just show you some love for showing us some love, and we appreciate it. And we thank everybody that takes the time out to do that. And yeah, so
Remember, keep the conversation live by hitting us up at CSPN Media, at Dan Chrism, at Black_Dante. Use the hashtag Crown and Collards to talk about the show. The show's Twitter feed is Crown and Collards.
That's
Hit us
correct.
up, talk to us there, and yeah, we look forward to hearing from y'all. So that's it. Let's start the show.
Yes. So we're recording this on a Tuesday, and Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Thursday, I will say I am looking forward to eating and getting fatter than I already am. Um, and for whooping my cousins and my uncle's ass in spades. Cause they always try to play me. I don't know what it is. Like these niggas try to play me like they wasn't the ones that taught me how to play spades, and they always end up getting mad when I whoop their ass in spades. And I'm like, nigga, you the one that showed me how to play fuck spades. Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this? What is this? Um, and I'm at that point where now I have to pass on the spades playing. The spades playing trades to my younger cousins that's growing up, that's learning how to play, they ass just got in fucking college and shit, and I'm my elders are leaving it to me to teach these niggas how to play. And okay, so one thing, so like I know I'm part of the Ute, um, but I also do not like the Ute because the Ute don't listen to shit. Cause these little niggas, I be having to remind these niggas, nigga, I know we like 6 years apart, 7 years apart, but I still will chin check your ass. Like, don't get cute just cause we technically around the same age. I will still body slam your ass. Like, nigga, you still live with auntie. I got my own shit. Like, let's not let's don't get cute. Don't get cute. Um, so I don't know if you have any Thanksgiving family anecdotes, Daniel, that you will have to deal with Thursday. But I know I already know what's coming my way.
Nah, so I mean, for those who on the speed on this, I live on the West Coast now, and the family I have that's here has all gone like elsewhere. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing a Friendsgiving. So basically, um, yeah, no, it's come as you are, do what you do, bring shit to the table, don't take shit off the table. It's basically how it goes in the situation that I'm in, and I generally trust the friends that I have to like adhere to that and to be good. So I guess my story is, especially the first time I'm doing this with a lot of the friends I have here. I guess my story is gonna come out after the show. I guess I don't after this week. But even then, I don't think, like I said, I don't think nobody gonna outright violate no ways. I gotta be like, oh Lord, somebody was not just not coming correct, but somebody was way out of line. I don't,
They're shaking the table.
I don't anticipate that. Thankfully, so I guess I'm thankful for tranquility and the fact that I'm not hosting it, and the fact that all I was asked to do was to show up and bring something sweet for later and something to drink on for all day. And I already have both of those things.
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is. All you just gotta do, just show up. Don't be a head ass. Don't be a head ass. So and keep it with Thanksgiving and some fun. I thought this would be fun. So I did some digging and I found an article, which is probably written by a white person, of of things that you should never do on Thanksgiving. This is from the Business Insider, which sounds white as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm gonna read these, and we might have a little fun with these before we get to the other parts of the show. So okay. So number one, things that you should never do at Thanksgiving, and maybe some of our listeners, maybe this will help. I mean, hey, because this episode is gonna come out like tomorrow, the day before, so it may be helpful. Who knows? Who know? We here at Chronicles are here for you, the consumer. So, anyway, here we go. Things you should never do. Say the food will be ready at 5 when it won't be ready until 7. Now, nigga, yes. Well, as being that we black, niggas always run on CP time. So I don't know one nigga. Every time it's Thanksgiving, you will never not see somebody tweet or multiple people tweet about how they ain't ate yet. Cause ain't nobody eating until Meemaw says you can eat, until the food done, until everybody get there and pray. So damn well. Damn well Big Mama ain't letting y'all touch nothing. She might slide you like a piece of turkey or maybe a hint of mac and cheese or some casserole and shit, but you ain't eating no whole ass meal until everybody ready.
Let me put it to you like this: you ain't getting nothing that has to break in any sort of way. So the turkey, nope, not happening.
Right.
Mac and cheese, not happening unless it's already broke, which is very rare.
Maybe
yeah,
a piece anything. Of pie. Maybe
a piece of that. Nah, see, that's the most like we cut that in the actual fucking sections. Pie is a damn sure hell no. At least in every Thanksgiving I haven't been a part of, which is very very many. But yeah, no, like what you get in terms of like shit while you waiting, you might get a little bit of greens because again the greens they just get remixed in the bowl just to get reset or whatever. Stuffing again. That's another one of those things that's not exactly finite, not exactly unbroken for a photo's sake, and then broken later. Once everybody gets into it, some sort of vegetable, peas,
Yeah,
sweet potatoes, something like
my
that.
uncle good for getting some peas before everybody eat. He good for that shit. He also eat peas like it's a religion, so take with that what you will.
Yeah, but see, Uncle have all the peas he want because especially if you got children in the group, it's guaranteed at least one child ain't gonna necessarily be here for the peas. So Uncle going extra on the peas, like we'll let that slide. That's okay. That's I don't want to say preferable, but I mean, yeah, you'll get away with peas in the way you won't get away with, say, like again, trying to cut a corner on mac and cheese off. Like you ain't doing that.
Uh,
Because one thing the fuck you're not doing is you're not messing up Great Auntie pictures. And Great Auntie want a picture of the spread so you can compare how it looked 10 years ago and 25 years ago and 40 years ago to see how, if anything, is we fucking up as a family unit or how we doing great as a family unit. So yeah, Great
Correct.
Auntie she got the Thanksgiving book somewhere at her house. Nobody sees it, outside the 5 days before and after Thanksgiving, but she got the book and everybody knew she got the book and everybody knew not to upset the book because you don't want to piss Great Auntie off.
The next thing that you should never do at Thanksgiving is bring someone who wasn't invited. Just don't do it.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they weren't invited to Thanksgiving, it was probably for a reason. Bringing someone who wasn't invited along would just make things awkward for everybody. If you get dragged along as the uninvited guest, at least brush up on your small talk skills because you're gonna need it.
Yep, indeed. Because yeah, no, the last thing you want again is to fuck the seating up. Um, my family never really did the little kids table in the traditional sense, but it was clear, like, all right, the adults is over here. Um, kids, find y'all way or make one. We don't really care what y'all do. Which, when I was a teenager, usually meant just going to like whoever's house we was at, like going to the video game room or
Yeah,
going outside or something. Because I mean, again, growing up in the South, you still eat outside temperatures during Thanksgiving. So
right.
we could do that. Sometimes, not all the time necessarily, but we can do that sometimes. But yeah, no, don't fuck the seating arrangement up. And this don't play in my family specifically, or most of the places I've been for Thanksgivings. But even if you text a few hours in advance and say, "Hey, I'm bringing so and so," is that cool? Um, if the answer is yes, then yeah, cool. They made a way for you. But if the answer is no, just respect that.
Right. Let
Let
me
let it let it be that. Work out whatever you got to do, whether it's that you just spend less time there or whatever the case might be. Split your Thanksgiving up. It might be a situation where y'all stay or you stay at your family thing traditionally early, but then when your plus one that you planned on taking is gone, don't have the space constraints that maybe your family do, and y'all could just kind of loosely show up at their place or what have you, and just kind of loosely mingle about rather than having to deal with the second like proper sit down and eat face ass Thanksgiving that you done already messed up once or tried to mess up once. And yeah, you don't want to make that mistake twice. So
listen. Don't make it awkward. Don't make it awkward and bring. Don't bring make it awkward and bring the girl that auntie can't stand. Don't do that.
I'm gonna go
Don't-
ahead and I'm gonna actually fight against that. Bring the people you like in your life.
mm,
Like if it's gonna be a situation where you got you go into somebody's place and that person whose place you going to has approved that person. Bring whoever it is and let the family member who don't like them let them sort their feelings out about it later. Um, Especially
mm.
as an adult, I feel like that's a really important lesson to learn. Like respecting family wishes versus doing what you need to do necessarily to like keep the peace in your personal situations. And so this is a situation where it's like, all right, I'm trying to keep peace for one day. Um, whatever, that's one thing. But if it's a situation where it's like you're trying to really build something with somebody, I think it takes a measure of courage to stand up and go, hey, like this is the person in my life. This is a long term thing. Like how you feel about them needs to be, y'all need to work that out on your own time. But right now, we're in the spirit of Thanksgiving. We're in the spirit of giving thanks. This is the ultimate family holiday. This is the one that we have little to no ideological disagreement upon. So let's be welcoming. Let's learn that spirit of being caring and being considerate. For the fact that, hey, I'm an adult. This is a decision I'm making. Respectability to politics be damned.
Kim, keep that one in mind. The next one, the next thing you should never do at Thanksgiving, make Jello salad.
Okay, first, yeah, you're not gonna get no kind of disagreement from me on this one.
First of damn all, I didn't know Jello salad was a thing until this article. Second of all, whoops the fuck is making this shit? What white nonsense is this?
Listen, I don't know the answer to that question.
This is peak caucasity. The next thing you should not do at Thanksgiving, bring up politics, especially not this year. Politics are always a sore subject, especially when some of your family members hold different beliefs. Avoid the drama by talking about something else like the strangest roadside attraction in every state or celebrity couples you didn't realize were together.
See, this is definitely a WPS. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, like people tend to vote the same ways. And I mean, yeah, you might have the wayward uncle or somebody who the made a look come up, and all of a sudden he sees the virtues of republicanism, and he don't want his tax bill to be too high and shit like that. So you got to navigate being around this motherfucker. But the thing is, you're gonna have to navigate that every fucking day. And the cool thing about that in the black family is that person's usually like such a significant minority that you never have to talk to them about really anything. Since you already know what their politics are anyway, you just never have to even broach that. You can let fuck Donald Trump play at 8:30 when the kids are starting to wind down, and it's really just an adult party, and all the bottles that came out from underneath and behind and in between and everywhere else, and the adults are just getting turned. Yeah, y'all can do shots and y'all can say fuck Donald Trump and Uncle Carrington, who decided that republicanism is the way to be for him. He could get dealt with in his own way by the family, on their own time. And by their own time, I mean everybody just bucking up on him pretty much in unison.
I'm just Carrington. That sounds like an old Republican voting ass nigga name.
No, you it's the uncle with the most fucked up of his name who, that somehow made the come up in life. He went got a master's degree, or he a high ranking police officer, some, whatever shit it is that niggas do that make them decide, oh, I'm gonna try this republicanism shit out. Or
Uncle Nerds.
Or they took one too many political science classes and they believe shit like, well, Republicans need to hear our voices within their party representation ranks so that we can have the concerns of black people heard. Because, I mean, hey, besides, black people run all the major cities in America, and the inner cities got all the problems, and those people tend to forget that the people who have money and thus have the stronger tax base foundation, they hit the white flight bridges and got the fuck and left poor people stuck with the bill. And no, that's not some shit that one person as a mayor or whatever can solve on their own. They need Uncle Wellington to stay in the city, but Uncle Wellington went and married a white woman and decided that the suburban life was his just as much as it was hers.
The fact that you had this all played out. Uncle Wellington is also a Chrisette Michele fan. That's neither here nor there.
He's still a Chrisette. Let me not. Oh no, he's now a Chrisette Michele fan. He is. He is a fan of hers now. Like, let's be extra specific about that shit. Like, he didn't really know her songs or her music too much before, but now, oh boy.
Speaking of, you didn't happen to hear that damn records that you made? Black, you didn't hear that song, did you?
Do you the fuck think I'm doing that to myself?
Listen, I heard some of it and it is absolute trash. It is. It is. I listen. Listen. That she could have kept that. That was a blabbity black meme in song form. All right, she could have kept that shit. Um.
I mean, I get why somebody would have the morbid curiosity to check that shit out, but did you think I was gonna do that to myself, like on purpose?
You're doing amazing, Dan.
If I had stumbled upon the shit, that'd be one thing, and I'd be singing a slightly different tune, like, oh fuck yeah. Unfortunately, I had the dishonor of hearing that shit, but no, like
The
uh and hell no.
the
No, did
next.
not hear it, and like Safe Money says, will not hear it. Because I have impressive willpower in that way. Um, I still have not heard Drake's "Take Care" album in its entirety.
I mean, you ain't missing much, so.
Well, I know that, but like I'm thinking back to my tweets about it 6 years ago. I mean, this album came out like 6 years around this time, um, and people was like, "Ain't no way you can be able to avoid this album. You're gonna have to hear it." And yeah, no, still have not heard that album in its entirety.
You was like, nigga, y'all thought. Well,
Y'all, they thought, but they don't know me. They don't know how good I am at avoiding shit I don't want to hear, and how good I am at finding the shit I do.
you're doing amazing. The next thing you should not do at Thanksgiving is undercook or overcook the turkey. Don't ruin the main dish.
Okay, can I say something about this real quick?
Yes.
For all you niggas who say turkey is bad because the meat is dry, you did the second one of the two. You overcooked your turkey. Um, let's just start there. And I get that you don't want to undercook it because you only cook turkey the one fucking time a year, and you don't know what you're doing with it anyway, and that's fine. You don't know when to, add more juice to it. You don't know when to pull it out and let it rest. You don't know anything about it, and not knowing is okay. But Al Gore's internet is a thing for a reason. Um, please go find one of these black aunties with a blog and look up her turkey cooking and preparation recipe. And what you need to do really is when this episode comes out, you need to do this on Wednesday. If you are in any way, shape, or form responsible for the turkey. If you are not, but you are really close with the person who is, just talk with them about it. Just have a conversation. Just go, hey, I'm be over for dinner tomorrow, and part of dinner is turkey tomorrow because that's how we get down around here. And I just want to know because I might be cooking the turkey sometime in the next 10 years myself. Can we talk about this turkey? Yeah. Can we talk about it? And I read this blog. Yeah, I read this blog, and it was saying things about how you can make your turkey an A+ turkey, and I like A+ turkeys. I like the sound of A+ turkeys. So I wanted to talk with you just as a family unit about getting this A+ turkey. What's up, Wrap Up? Talk to me. How you doing? Do that with your family if you got to.
Mm-hmm. All right. So the next thing you should not do is come unannounced. That's just plain rude.
Um, yeah, again, that's one of those that I find hard to do. Um, where you're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner because you talked about this at least once with somebody in the month of November. So go where you going. Don't just be showing up to places. And if your goal is to just leave where it was that you were, call where you going. Like not when you're sitting outside, but call where you are going as you are going there. Talk to somebody. Hey, I had a bad experience at my white significant other's family dinner. They were very all lives mattery, and I just couldn't abide that shit. So is it cool if I'm hungry down over by y'all? Oh yeah, I know I know y'all are finishing up eating right now, and it's cool. Like football is on, and maybe we could just watch a little bit of football, and I can just get away from them. I just need some deep breaths and a shot of whiskey and some quality time with the people I know and love. So can y'all make space for me? Thank you. That's all they got to be. Yeah, don't just show up.
Yes. The next thing you should not do is talk about how you ruining your diet because we don't care.
Agreed. Next topic.
Yes. Next thing, eat way too much.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. See, because I think I know what comes next, and that would probably be drink too much, and you damn sure don't want to do that. But definitely don't eat in excess because Thanksgiving leftovers taste good as leftovers. Let me just go ahead and say that. Like my mom would host Thanksgiving at our place, and we would be the one stuck holding the bag. By this I mean turkey. Um, and I was fine with it because man, there are a few things better than a turkey sandwich the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
I can agree.
So so yes, or even the Wednesday after Thanksgiving if you got it like that. But yeah, don't eat too much. Please feel free to make a plate, take a plate, because this is a time where again, like we are going to have a ton of food, and it's almost preferable at this point that you take some of this shit because again, we love Thanksgiving leftovers. I just don't want to still be eating that shit on Christmas Eve.
Yes. Yes. And because we from the South, we were taught we don't waste no damn food. All right. The next thing you should not do at Thanksgiving, bring your brand new significant other you've only been dating for a flash second. Awkward.
New significant other that you only been dating. Okay, I think the qualifier here is have you told like at least the family member who's hosting this about this person at least once before you be taking them over? If y'all have talked once about it, in early November or in October or whatever, um, I'm okay with breaking this rule. I'm also okay with breaking this rule if you just got a chill ass family just in general. But yeah, on average, new squeeze, plan for Friday.
Yes.
Do y'all own thing and then plan for Friday. Take them around less family to start, so that it don't get awkward between. Basically, this avoids the problem that we talked about a few things up, where it's like this person that your older family member can't stand, um, and I find that the fast way to that specific brand of resentment is bringing them to family functions a little too early. So yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I think this. I mean, I think the key and qualifier here is it said like someone you've only been dating for a flash minute, like you just got their number maybe like a week before, and you bring them to Thanksgiving, and like I said, you ain't gonna tell nobody. You're just gonna show up like, hey, we've been.
Oh yeah, don't do that because we're gonna think New Bay just needs us to eat, and we don't expect to not even hear about this person until Christmas, and then we're not expect to hear about this person again until Easter, and then not again until some cookouts for your cousin's birthday party that they have at the park every year. So yeah, no, don't establish that precedent. Like I
Right.
said, if you got a chill family, some of this goes out the window, but not all of it. Yeah, in other words, just don't be a head ass. I think that's the real takeaway on this one.
Right.
About bringing guests. I mean,
yes.
don't ever be a head ass in general. It's really good advice, but yeah, don't be a head ass about the guests you're taking.
That's correct. Next thing you shouldn't do: bring a different dish than what you said you bring. Commit to it.
Ooh, I know exactly how I feel about this one. Yeah, niggas be lying, man. Don't let your,
It be your own
do
nigga.
not let your family down in that way, please. Pretty please.
You can let your family down in a lot of ways, but don't let your family down about food. Like that's just wrong. That's just wrong. That's just
Don't
cooling.
don't don't be a liar. Nobody like a liar in the family.
You gonna lie on turkey, nigga?
Yeah, I was gonna bring bread pudding, but it's dessert, and that's kind of hard. So here, I got these peas instead. They sweet. No, don't do that.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
Don't pump fake on your people.
Yeah, don't pump fake over the mac and cheese. Don't do that. Don't pump fake over the pie. Don't do that. That's just wrong. Why would you do that? Why did you do that, Sharon? Why? Let's see. I think is this the last one? Nope, but still. Next thing, wait till the last minute to go to the grocery store. Now, I worked in retail pretty much all my collegiate career, and I worked at a convenience store at that. So I know good and damn well niggas break this rule because nigga, listen, the days that I had to work Thanksgiving, nigga, you be motherfuckers at the goddamn door from the time we opened to the time we got down closed. I remember one time I was working at fucking Dollar General, and nigga, I'm talking about we closing early, quote unquote, at fucking what time they at fucking 8. It'd be a fucking parking lot full of 7. It'd be a parking lot full of goddamn people at 6:58. Like, you sons of bitches.
What the fuck do you need at 6:58?
Exactly.
Like, can you concede that shit? Just all right, we ran out of Sprite. Fuck it, like
right. You would think just toss it up to the game. You would think, but no, because niggas gonna need.
Like, don't get me wrong. I know that certain grocery stores and shit, like, they'll stay open for a few hours so that you can grab like little knick-knacky shit you forgot. But here's my thing: don't get aggressive with the people at the grocery store who are there having it open for not having an abundance of shit out on the shelves necessarily. Because here's the thing: if y'all all forget the stovetop cornbread stuffing, they put out 50 boxes and that's it. Then nigga, that's it. It's Thanksgiving. Get the I don't know what the invitation stovetop is called. I guess it's oven underneath. I don't know. Yeah, just get you some Pan-Burger partner because you can't make the right noodles. Get some Pan-Burger partner. Call it a day. You'll live.
You'll be alright. Niggas be alright. All right. So I think. Okay. The other thing you should not do is get creative with the menu. Listen, don't serve salmon at Thanksgiving, nigga. Can you imagine? Especially because we're from the South. Can you imagine somebody serving some goddamn filet mignon at fucking Thanksgiving?
Dude, a steak at Thanksgiving, I would be all the fuck over that, boy. I don't know what you're talking about. No,
motherfucker serving so long.
I would fuck a steak up for Thanksgiving. I don't know what you talking about. Shit, we got sweet potatoes and peas and mac and cheese on the side of a steak, nigga.
Hey.
I will go all the way off on that. I don't know what you talking about.
Hey, you go to B Mama house and then you can fuck around and get served something from an Outback Steakhouse menu.
No, I'm gonna say this. Like, don't be like, yo, turkey is not the thing we doing. We doing like, yeah, don't do a blooming onion as your main thing. Turkey, that would be stupid.
I wouldn't even know how to react if I went if we go to my cousin's house and my auntie bring out some fucking some fucking I don't know like you said, it's like some fucking blooming onion shit. I would laugh myself into a goddamn coma.
I would call the police and then I would just leave. I'll call the police and be like, look, don't expect me that because I'm kind of annoyed right now. And I don't want to be responsible for the situation escalating, but you need to understand, this nigga took the turkey and decided not to do a turkey this year, but is doing a blooming onion as the featured meal in the centerpiece of this mac and cheese. So no, don't go with guns drawn. Just go with a straight jacket.
Oh man, I don't know what I would like. That would be too fucking hilarious to me. Like I don't even know. I wouldn't even. I would be too taken aback to even be mad. I would just laugh. I would just laugh. Like I wouldn't even know. Like I think that's all I'll be able to do is just laugh and be like, well, I ain't did some shit. Oh, okay. So let's see. Okay.
What is one rule that you would want to add to this? Seeing as we didn't write this article ourselves, but we talking about the shit. What is one thing you would add to that list?
One thing I will add to this list, and I think then we'll move on because the last thing in this is like don't serve canned cranberry sauce, and it's like
Whatever.
yeah, right, whatever. Let's
Give a
see
fuck.
what.
I ain't serving the canned, boxed. I ain't serving fresh cranberries. I'm okay
um,
with just passing on it personally, but that's just me. But yeah, what's one thing you would add to this list?
one thing I will add to this. If you're not cooking, contribute and oh wait. No, this is things not to do on Thanksgiving. Um, don't hmm hmm. Come back to me on that one. Come back to me on that.
All right, so here's mine. Mine should be a pretty easy family rule to follow, but I mean, there's a reason I'm mentioning this. Don't get drunk while the kids are still prominently involved in Thanksgiving festivities.
Agreed.
Drink, yes. Find your buzz, your happy place on that tipsy line, yes. Get a little loud, be happy. Fuck it, it's Thanksgiving. Don't get drunk.
Yeah, I agree. Not while the baby's still up. I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, like I said, if the family members who got the kids, and they leave because they either go on to another obligation or they just taking off for the evening, they got their little go plates and they good to go or whatever. Now, if it's a matter of they out and like your kids who are a little bit older or like the teenagers or whatever, and they can handle seeing like people drunk in the family, whatever, so seeing that like cookouts or whatever, shit like that, then yeah, okay, that's one thing. But yeah, don't like set out to be drunk by like 4:15.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
On Thanksgiving lunch, and everybody expects you to be gone by 4 o'clock, and niggas is just lingering come 4:15, and you just like fuck this. My plan was to be drunk by now, and you want to get drunk, then yes, that's one thing. But yeah, on average, um, yeah, don't and yeah, if you get drunk before the meal gets served, I just feel bad for you. Um, but yeah, no, don't be drunk while the kids are still prominently involved in your Thanksgiving festivities.
Right. Um, I will add to that. If I had to add one thing, is don't be the motherfucker that don't be the motherfucker that rushes the food and makes a mess and then don't want to help clean up.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I'm gonna take that one a step further, and I'm gonna go. The people who are preparing the food usually know who they are, whether it's just one person or it's a small team of folks. Um, Let them handle it.
Yes. Yes.
Like you do not have to come in and start taking over like Peyton Manning at the line of scrimmage.
You know,
That is really necessary. That's really necessary and almost never useful. So don't do that. Don't be like that.
right. So yeah, hopefully we share with y'all some things that'll be helpful, and you don't be getting into a fight with your relatives on Thanksgiving.
And happy Thanksgiving, niggas. Once again.
Yes, and happy Thanksgiving, niggas. Okay, so we didn't get a chance to discuss this, but we are now. So, in the Jeremy wishes the whole field was set on fire bowl. LeVar Ball and 45 have been getting into a war of words. Because over in China, LiAngelo and two of his other teammates were arrested in China for shoplifting. And shout out to this Complex article who has the timeline of these events because I didn't want to have to pull up 17 different goddamn articles to string this shit together. So here we go. On November 7th, LiAngelo and the two UCLA teammates were arrested in China for shoplifting. On November 8th, LaVar said that LiAngelo's arrest ain't a big deal. On November 9th, LaVar is told not to comment on LiAngelo's arrest again. On November 13th, Trump asked China's president Xi Jinping, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, I'm probably not, but forgive me, to help settle LiAngelo's case. On November 14th, LiAngelo and his teammates are allowed to leave China. On November 15th, 45 tweets, which he always fucking does, calls for LiAngelo and his teammates to thank him for his help. On November 15th, LiAngelo and his teammates thank him. On November 18th, LaVar says he doesn't think Trump helped LiAngelo and his teammates. On November 19th, 45 said he should have left LiAngelo and his teammates in jail. On November 20th, which was yesterday, CNN brought LaVar on to say that he refuses to thank 45 for LiAngelo for anything dealing with LiAngelo or his two teammates. Again, in the Jeremy wishes the whole field was set on fire bowl. We have a war of trolls. How do you feel about this shit? I'll let you
go. It made me a bigger LaVar Ball fan. I'll tell you that much. And the reason I say that is because I'm gonna tell you now, Trump ain't helped them boys get out of jail. I'm gonna tell you who did it. It was Stephon Marbury. No, think about this for a minute. Now remember, Marbury had a decent NBA career. He had a pretty good NBA career. He played for 5 teams that I can remember. I'm not about to try to ramble them all up, but he played for a few different teams. Usually, did his thing, was pretty good on his teams. But then he went to China in 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. Yeah. And in short time, like, Starbury became like a fucking folk legend out there. And like, let me not understate or overstate this. Like, Stephon Marbury is held in extremely high regard in China. And I don't think that Donald Trump is held in high regard anywhere on this planet. When we start talking about countries as a whole, I don't think he's held in very, very high regard anywhere in that way. So Stephon Marbury already has the advantage on Donald Trump in that way because the country that these boys just happen to get in trouble for, and they're basketball players, of course, is the same country that a U.S. expat is like a Hall of Fame, like honorary citizen, which China don't do often. Yeah, he is the man there. Like all things basketball revolve around Starbury. And so I am entirely within the realm of belief that it was Starbury who put in the word to the president, was like, to the president of China, and was like, look, these boys, they ain't really mean no bad. They was, goofing off as teenagers do. Please have some sympathy on them on my behalf because, I know these boys is good pedigree and, UCLA is a school with good pedigree and they're going to handle it appropriately. Don't you worry. But please just don't make the matters worse because we don't want to have an international incident on our hands. And they heard Starbury out and it was like, all right, cool. We with you on that. That's what's up. Thank you for taking the time to tell us about your concerns, Mr. Starbury, of the Chinese Basketball Association Hall of Fame and legendary status. So, yeah, I mean, Trump might have put a phone call in, and then China's president would have been like, "Yeah, I talked to Stephon about it already. We good."
The Legend of Starbury.
And I think that was the extent of Donald Trump's role, just to confirm that they talked to Stephon Marbury, and that was that. And just like my theory about Silk the Shocker's influence on hip hop, we can fight if you don't believe me. I don't care.
You going down that hill to the day we die. You going down that hill for Silk the Shocker. Okay, so a couple of things. So like when this first broke, I don't want to say I didn't care because I didn't want anything bad to happen to those boys. So I don't want to say I didn't care. What I didn't want to happen, shit, how can I say this? So okay, here's the thing. Because like when this first broke, I saw a lot of people having a hot take about like y'all you know how people do. It's like y'all hate Trump, but if it was your son or daughter or your kid or whatever, you want them to bail them out too. And it's like even if he did that, which I don't believe. I ain't gonna go as far as the Legend of Starberry, although you make a compelling argument.
As I always do. Thank you very much. Listen to me now, believe me later on.
Okay, Bomani.
That's my mantra. Listen to me now, believe me later on. I'll learn one of these days. I'll be knowing. I'm usually right about shit. Anyway, continue.
Like even if 45, like my initial reaction was even if 45 did get those kids out, it wasn't like he got them out to like he gave a fuck. Like to me, this just rings of what he always does when it comes to black people. It's like, oh look, I helped XYZ amount of black people this one time, so I can't be racist. Meanwhile, his administration passes some of the most racist fucking policies and shit ever. So it's like this was nothing but a PR stunt, and like he pretty much fucking proved it with talking like when LeVar was like, nah, I'm not gonna thank him. He was like, oh, I should have left their asses in jail. So he should, again, like you said, listen to me now, believe me later. So it pretty much confirmed what I already believe. But I want to know a couple things. One, why is LeVar not thinking Trump newsworthy? You know what I mean?
Here's why it's newsworthy. I'm gonna tell you why right now. So, again, LiAngelo and his teammates who did this, they're college freshmen, and for PR purposes, they made the concession to Trump. They were thankful. You know, they said thank you to President Trump and all the people who were involved in helping us get out of the situation. Because when you're 19 years old, that's what you're going to do. Like you're going to give credit to whoever they tell you to give credit to.
Right.
I'm sure UCLA had a part of it. I'm sure LeVar had a part of that even. Because one thing I will say is I don't like if there was a situation where he was like, "No, I don't do it," then he would have done it. But I think it was one of those where like, hey, for the sake of the people who are actually involved in this incident, like I'm gonna get out the way and I'm gonna defer to not y'all's better judgment, but the better judgment, which is to thank whoever it is necessary to say thank you to. And that necessary list consists of the people who feel it is necessary to thank them for you. So in other words, if Starberry had come out and been like, "Yo, I was responsible for this," you better believe it would have been and thank you to Stephon Marbury too for his help in getting us out of this situation.
The Legend of Starbeard. That's gonna be the show title, The Legend of Starbeard.
It can be. But yeah, no, so that's why the fact that LeVar isn't as conciliatory toward Trump is new. That's the only reason why, because the son LiAngelo was, he did express that, that thanks to President Trump, and I could go ahead and guess, like, yeah, LeVar he got some head tendencies about him, but I don't think he's a guy who politically skews conservative in any meaningful sense. So saying that about him leads, again, this little bit of credence to skepticism about Trump's role in anything, which is obvious for those people who don't skew conservative. They will always be skeptic of anything that Trump says. And then here's the other thing, like, again, to avoid there being an international incident, Trump kind of had to reach out to the president of China. Like, there was no pure goodwill for the sake of doing goodwill, because I clearly care about these boys so much of it that was going to come from Trump. It just wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, and anytime you have a situation where an American citizen is caught up in some degree of capture or arrest or anything like that, like, the first thing you do is you call the embassy, and the embassy gets the president online. And the president's role then is to reach out to diplomacy of the country where the situation happened to figure out what's going on, what the punishment might look like, and if there's a way out of it. Which is the same thing that would happen if, say, like a Chinese national did something comparable on the same level here in America, which I don't know what that would consist of here and now. So I don't have a quid pro quo example necessarily lined up, but there's certainly something that we as Americans would say, hey, like, this is a bad look for this visitor to this country. We might have a situation on our hands with this person in terms of getting them out of this country and back to where they are from without incident. So, yeah, no, Trump did what he had to do. Like, there was no goodwill from the kindness of my heart that went into this. It was, this is a situation. This is my job. This is what I have to do. I did it. And maybe that's why LeVar isn't thinking, because he knows that just as well. So
maybe. But like I said, I knew where this was gonna go before it even got to this point. Like which again is why I really didn't like jump on to like have to like kind of, because I think people like to do that. You know what I mean? Like, well, y'all just yeah. I mean, I know y'all hate Trump and XYZ. Yeah, motherfucker, people hate him, but it's not like people wanted anything bad to happen to these boys. It's just like people knew what time it was. Like, this isn't like no goodwill of his heart or no shit. It was like you said, either he had to do this, or, which again, he proved the confirmation bias. He did this as like, oh, see, I did some shit for you black people, and then y'all ungrateful. See, should have left him in jail. You know what I mean? Like, I think people sometimes kind of rush to kind of like get it right, or, you know, quote unquote, and end up looking foolish in the end. You know what I mean? And like, that's, you know, at the crux of this is that the boys are safe. The boys are safe at home, and that they nothing other than probably getting the stern talking to, and, you know, I mean, and also the suspension, you know, which you can argue is excessive or whatever. I mean, that's, you know, that's for people to decide on their own. But I'm thankful that the boys are safe, and it's just yeah, I mean, 45 gonna 45. So I mean, you know.
And I mean, what LeVar going LeVar. So I mean,
yeah, right. Which is why, again, it's the Jeremy wants the entire field set on fire bowl. It is the
I'm all for things that make Trump look bad and LeVar Ball look good. So whatever. That's the extremely, I don't want to say petty, because that's not really how this goes. In my way of looking at it, but yeah, in my view, as far as I care, Trump looks bad because he's having a tantrum, and LeVar Ball got to kick back and go, "What the fuck you talking about me for?" A boy said sorry. What else you want?
Yeah. Speaking of looking bad, so Gabby Douglas was in the news the other day.
Mm-hmm.
For for lack of a better word, being head ass.
Yep.
So her teammate, Allie Reisman, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not. Forgive me. Um, One of her teammates posted a message on Friday. I have this article pulled up. Reminding everyone that a woman's appearance has nothing to do with whether or not she lost it, which is true. We cannot stress that enough. With everything going on, it's like we see a new allegation of assault or harassment every day now. And I'm happy it's getting in the open. And I'm happy that hopefully it is getting people to open their eyes and change what their way of thinking when it comes to these things. Correct behaviors make things safer for women, make it a safer environment, and for women and respect their autonomy over their own bodies, and most of all, keep your hands to your motherfucking self. And that this is a reminder that men, TM, the brand, systemically, socially are trash. Not that we're born trash, but systemically, men, the brand, the system is trash. And the victims of men being trash are usually women and sometimes other men, because there are accounts of these powerful men in Hollywood and other places sexually harassing and or abusing other men as well. So just keep that in mind, as again that the socializing and the system of men is trash, and you can debate that with your hairline, but your hairline. Uh, like your hairline receding, these things are facts. You can be mad about it, but you being mad about it doesn't change the fact that men need to do better. And if we're ever going to get free as a collective, as a society, men have to do fucking better and hold men accountable and change the system of men. So with that said, um, which can lead you into internalized misogyny, such as, again, getting back to the point. So Rainsman has been a vocal advocate for victims of sexual assault and harassment after sharing her experience of abuse by USA gymnast team Dr. Larry Nassar. An appearance on 60 Minutes last weekend brought her story to the forefront of the past 2 months. Allegations of harassment and assault by powerful men across industries. That's her statement. Just to be clear, just because a woman does a sexy Photoshop or wears a sexy outfit does not give a man the right to shame her or not believe her when she comes forward about sexual abuse. What is wrong with some of you? And when a woman dresses sexy, it does not give a man the right to sexually abuse her ever. Women are allowed to feel sexy and comfortable in their own skin. In fact, I encourage all of you to wear what you feel good in. I will not put up with any woman or girl being shamed into wanting to wear a skirt, dress, etc. I do not tolerate it. Are we clear? Oh, and one more thing, in all caps, stop victim shaming. It is because of you that so many survivors live in fear. Can't find one lie.
Correct.
And then she posted on November 17th, we are all in this together. If we are going to create change, I need your help. So that happened, and then then Gabby had to open her mouth or her phone and tweet. Gabby quote um Gabby quote Gabby quote RT'd her and said, however, it is our responsibility as women to dress modestly and be classy. Dressing in a provocative / sexual way entices the wrong crowd.
See, and here was my problem with that, and I was not on Team Cancel Gabby. because I feel like motherfuckers are way too quick to cancel people.
We're gonna disagree heavy about that shit, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But continue. I'll let you finish.
No, so the reason I wasn't on that was because like I feel like Gabby just missed the point of what it was that her teammate was saying, Alan was saying. No, this is what I mean by that.
I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong on that, because she doubled down. She deleted it, but she doubled down right after.
I saw what she doubled down at, but like what she missed and the fact that she missed on this was so profound. It was like this was the coach, fam. Like, and when you're around the coach, you're not dressing in no ways like that to be enticing or to be provocative or anything like that, except for the fact that the coach just he had this inclination for girls who was dressed in these ways, obviously. And he used his position as a coach to be exploitative of that. So it wasn't that they were dressing sexy or that they needed to dress more modestly or all the shit Gabby was talking about, which again, it was bullshit. It was bullshit that never belonged in the conversation in the first place, is what I'm saying here. And, you know, again, with that in mind, it's kind of like a divide by zero kind of situation where it's like, I can't dock you points on this because, like, you're talking about some whole other thing altogether that ain't nobody in this conversation talking about. This is a you thing that you are introducing to the conversation, which is fine up to the point where you bring it in to a place where it's not really necessary. And that was the problem I had with what Gabby Douglas said. And yeah, I saw the tweet where she doubled down, and like I even wrote, you know, something to her on that one because it was like, you know, you saying
Ain't no
this,
2000,
but right, you're saying this, but what you're missing is the fact that again, this was her coach that you're talking about. This wasn't like some dude who just was, you know, whoever, whatever. This was somebody who very naturally and very organically, Allie was, you know, had a what's the word I'm looking for? Like she had an expectation of comfort around this person.
Why are you? It's funny. Well, not funny, but why you brought that up? This I don't know if it broke like, well, at least by the time of the article it says 6:40 Eastern Standard Time, and it was updated 6:49 Eastern Standard Time before we recorded. But ironically, Gabby has come forward and said that she was abused by the doctor as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, you know, and again, and hearing that brought a lot of context to me where Gabby felt like she had a role in the fact that she was assaulted. And again, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong that she said what she said because of that, but I can at least understand on a very like ordinal level why she would feel like, oh God, I had something to do with my own assault, didn't I? And all of the respectability politics shit that she was taught, which again, it sucks that, you know, our girls are taught this and that our young women are taught this particular strain of
victim blaming, essentially.
patriarchal victim blaming. Yes, those things. The thing that sucks, you know, the most about it again is the fact that it came out in this way toward Allie that, you know, Gabby was like holding on to this feeling of, well, fuck, I was wronged in this way too, and I don't really know what to say about it or how to say what I need to say about it. So she kind of had an insert, you know, open mouth insert foot kind of reaction to it, where like we know again, like if all of this had happened like 1, 2, 3, like right on top of each other, 1, 2, 3 on top of each other, like we would be singing a whole different tune. Like if it was, you know, if the thing Gabby had doubled down on was I'm a victim too, we would be looking like, girl, this ain't the thing that victims need to be saying to each other or about each other's circumstances. Like we, you know, she is internalized so badly, and again, I can't imagine. And I guess, you know, it's not up to us to have to try to imagine, but it's hard to insert yourself into a situation where somebody has gone through this, especially in these times where like everybody's coming out about this now and everybody is sharing their truth in these ways, um, that say, "Hey, I was assaulted. Hey, I was a victim. Hey, I'm not okay," and what have you, and then just knowing the right thing to say. Because again, Gabby Douglas spoke on what it sounds like to me, just based on other conversations I've had with other women about this topic in other realms, is that in some way they're kind of taught that they had a role in it, or if they had just done a little bit less of this, if they had only done a little bit more of this, or if only they had shown a little bit less of skin. And it's like when you're talking about gymnasts, you're talking about like wearing clothing that allows for the free form and the free flow of all of your body's like limbs and things. And while I personally like I don't see the clothing of gymnasts, female women gymnasts in that way, I understand that there are people who do, and some of them use their power of influence to get close um, to that world, and then use their power of influence for bad to touch these girls and to be provocative and to be handsy and assaulty and dare I say even rapey. Um, and that's why I struggle so hard with Garrett. And again, I'm not absolving her. I'm not saying that she's just like in the clear or that she's done no wrong. She's very much done those things, and I said those things about her when that was live in action. Um, I just think that hearing this just gives a little bit more context to how she gets to the point where she says such a thing in the first place, and I feel bad, that one of the lessons that we constantly see is that we see victims blame themselves, and then what winds up happening from there is external people who weren't involved in the situation default to blaming the victim. Oh well, what were you wearing? What were you doing? You shouldn't have gone to his office at that time. Whatever it is, and it fucking sucks. And I hope that, like, in light of that, all of these things that are coming out now, and all of these women providing their testimonies, and all these people of these marginalized communities by any other name are providing their testimonies, and hopefully we get the sea change we need um, for men's behavior, because that's the only thing that needs to change. The thing that needs to change is men's behavior, period. um, when that happens, the victim blaming internally stops. When that happens, the victim blaming externally stops. When that happens, we get justice quicker. And when that happens, we get the right justice quicker. And when that happens, then we become free, which I saved that for last on purpose because I want to tie that back into how you said, hey, like, we're not free until we get this right.
Okay.
So
Uh,
that's what I'm pulling for. And I think now that I've expressed it, I think maybe that disagreement I think is a little less pointed. Dare I say? I think the approach can still certainly be different. I think there's certainly room for that. But again, I don't like. I'm not gonna like hurt Gabby for this, especially now knowing that she was hurt in some ways all her own. So I don't know. I've talked a lot. Say something.
I was just gonna let you finish. You was on the tangent. I was just gonna let you talk. But yeah, nah, cause this basically reminds me of that. What's that woman? That cooking woman that said they had that shit. Sonny Anderson. When she was like, I came forward and I was strong, and the women that came after me, they weren't strong and they lied and this, that, and the third. Yeah, I didn't give a pass on that, even though she was abused and a victim. She still said some head ass shit to about other victims. Yeah, Gabby don't get a pass on me for this either. And the reason she don't get a pass for this for me, even knowing the context, yeah, you're right. And again, like she saying she was abused, I believe her. And
Mhm.
the problem is men's behavior. That said, Simone Biles saw this, quote RT her, and I will read her testimony. Well, she was like, it shocks me that I'm seeing this, but it doesn't surprise me. Before we even get to the rest of it, which is heartbreaking in itself as it is, and I don't even think Adley has said anything yet, to the best of my knowledge. She said, it shocks me that I'm seeing this, but it doesn't surprise me. That is key, in my opinion. That means, to me, that reads is, I'm shocked that you saying this in public, but in our personal interactions, because remember, they all teammates, you have said this in private to us or around us or some type of stuff to this effect. You have said this to us already, so we already know how you feel. I'm shocked that you would be dumb enough to say this in public at this point in time. So I listen, and so this sparked the conversation that I wish would die, but it's not, about canceling and all this, that, and the third. So, to the best of my knowledge, canceling started in like LGBT culture, specifically gay culture.
It did. It is very much queer slang and
right. And to the best of my knowledge, at least from what I have seen and from what I have asked and read, all canceling really means is that you stop fucking with somebody because they said or did something you don't like, or that you deem as fucked up, or whatever, big or small or whatever.
That's the spirit of it, yes.
And everybody does that. See, you know what I mean? Like, not being.
And here's the thing: the straights got their hands on canceling and cancel culture. We just can go ahead and say tongue in cheek.
The straights.
Yeah, y'all got your hands on this shit, and now it's taking on a life of its own in a lot of sorted ways. I'm just go ahead on and say, like, canceling Mel Gibson for saying that he hopes his ex-wife gets raped by a pack of niggers. I am okay with that. Like, that is. Yeah, get him all the way the fuck out of here. Get him off Netflix. Get him off, off the big screen. Get him out of Hollywood. Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, someone who's 20 years old speaking like a 20-year-old, and has this capacity to grow. Like, I don't think it's congruous is what I'm saying here. I don't think that's the same as Mel Gibson saying he hopes his wife gets raped by a pack of niggers. That's the point of difference. You can go on to me till the sun rises, dog. But that's how I see it.
Yeah. Like, here's I think what you just said. What you just said.
Canceling is now.
What you just said really highlights why I really think the whole cancel and growth XYZ whatever conversation. We really need to. Well, I know we ain't, but I really think we need to dead that shit, honestly, because we all hypocrites of that shit. And I'll tell you why. It really needs to be a conversation of which problematics matter to us and which we allow people to skate by with, and which we don't. Because
and I asked this question on my Facebook. I asked, what is problematic and what is just flawed in the way that humans are. And yes, I think that ties in to. I feel like that ties in very well to where you're going with this. Again, like, what is? Hey, humans are flawed in these ways, and we still need to kind of have a paradigm shift on this. And what is clearly beyond the pale, but motherfuckers are violating anyway.
Which, I mean, okay, so. And I've asked this on the timeline before. I've said this on the timeline before, and people thought I was crazy. But I mean, show me how I'm lying. Usually, not all the time, but usually, as a matter of fact, I would get what you just said, the Mel Gibson / what Gabby said. Usually, the growth and we need to give people grace and all that stuff conversation. Usually, again, not all the time, but usually. Only comes up when it's something dealing with women or it's LGBTQIA related. We usually never have that conversation of growth and forgiveness and grace and let people learn and do X, Y, and Z and all this, that, and the third when it's racism. It almost never happens. Almost never happens. when it's something dealing with misogyny or women or in this case, rape culture, some people saying stupid shit about rape culture or violence against women or it's some homophobia or transphobia and all that. Everybody pulls out the woodwork like y'all wasn't always woke and y'all need to forgive and y'all need to let people grow and all this, that, and the third. So people can't grow out of racism. People can't grow out of white people can't grow out of the socialization of racism and learn from that and grow and try to eliminate the system that permeates that racism. I never see that argument for racism.
Well, the thing is, some white people are like doing that work, and again, I live in a place that's 3/4 white, so like I get to kind of see that in action. But then, like, I know that these folks are going home to like All Lives Matter ass family members for Thanksgiving in a couple days. And I mean, we've known the whole time that racism is bad. Like, I can just go ahead and say racism is bad. I don't think I'm gonna get much disagreement on that. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, is this just beyond the pale? And people are holding on to antiquated beliefs about like what a type of human was. Like that's what racism was rooted in. It was the belief that like, not that black people were second class humans, but that we were subhuman.
And that whole, and I'm not saying this to attack you or anything. This is a genuine question. You don't think that those same values have holded true for sexism and misogyny?
I don't think that we see women as like subhuman. I think that women are often objectified. That is certainly a thing. But I think that in ways that are parallel, that are similar but not same, like womanhood is held in a different regard now than it was back when it was like you married a woman and that was basically treated as your property. I think that by and large, more of at least Western culture is off that, and a lot of Western culture is still on black people are second class, inferior humans who just can't get it right and are responsible for all their own wrongdoings. And Chicago and guns and all the things that people say that is bullshit about the black community. And yeah, there's certainly the parallel of, well, what was she wearing? What was she doing? And we've said, hey, look, that's wrong. Like, it's wrong to question what it was she was doing or what it was she was wearing or what have you. But people still feel it's okay to say, oh, well, the poor black people who live in the inner cities and all the guns that they have and all the black on black violence. I think that, again, in some ways, these things are congruous in that they're similar, not the same. But ultimately, and I've said this on the show before, the first privilege is still male privilege. That is still a first privilege, because I mean, you can look at the shit that's going on in which country is it? I don't want to get it wrong, but one of the African countries that has long been outspoken against LGBTQ culture, that also speaks out against women holding positions in church or what have you. And that's not whiteness they're replicating. That is ideals of manhood that they're replicating.
Exactly. So like I hear you, but at the same time, like I think not, and this is gonna sound pessimistic and cynical, but then at the same time, I will argue why, I don't know how I couldn't feel this way, knowing what I know and like, just doing my own research and just like looking at the world in its totality. There is a very, if not damn near, there's a very, very, very strong case that globally, maybe not Western society, which still kind of on the fence, really. But globally, women, even in 2017, are still more or less treated as like, hey, you just fuck men and birth babies and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like globally, that is still, even in 2017, that is a thing. Like as far as we have come, we it's still very backwards, still. And I think that's one of the things that I think the US has always kind of held that high horse on. Well, look how they treat black and brown people in other parts of the country. Look how they treat queers and all this, that, and third in other countries. Look how they treat women in other countries. Then you look in our backwaters and it's like, can we really stand on that much of a high horse? So I think in theory, it's one thing to say that, hey, it's maybe not the same because yeah, they may view black people as a still black person bad, woman problematic views but not as bad, when it's like can you really say that? Because I mean not to be funny, but not that these issues aren't new, because they aren't, but the voices in which people have to express displeasure with these views and how different marginalized groups have been treated is still very new. Like the system, like that's why I said earlier, like the system of men, like the system of oppressing women, even in the subtle ways. I mean, like it's so bad, like it's even broken down to like how we, well, at least in like heterosexual, like cis heteronormative, relations and stuff. Like it's just the little shit that is a systemic problem that we don't even see. Like, or we don't even think it's a problem. But when you think about it and think critically, it's like, oh, this is kind of fucked up. Like take shit.
And you said a word when you said think critically, because I mean I think that's kind of where we are now. The
Right. Like
paradigm
I
is
mean,
starting to shift,
look at
and people are wanting to
look.
break down toxic masculinity. They wanted to break down patriarchy. And they want to break down white supremacy. They want to break down racism. And as far as I'm concerned, like in those cases, I don't think there's one crime greater than the other. I think all of that shit just needs to be worked on, and that's why, like again, the white man, the ultimate holder of privilege, is trash.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, but that's what, and that's why I agree. I think all of these issues are problems, and all of these issues are need to be addressed. And I hold all of these equally, which is why I said the people. I put it like this: the people that I saw defending Gabby. First of all, they offered more defense for Gabby than they did for Allie, which I thought was fucking. That
yeah,
blew my mind.
that was stupid. Yeah,
It's like, okay, y'all defending her and going up for her that shit more than the person that she said to hear that shit to about her own teammate. Like, are y'all okay?
Yeah, I'm calling out Gabby. I'm not canceling. I'm calling her out. Like that's that's the middle ground that I've taken. But yeah, definitely. The people who were like, yeah, well, Gabby, did no wrong, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm like, no, y'all, that's off base. It's not that she did no wrong. She spoke way out of turn.
But I think it's more. I really think it's more of a witch problematics issue. The train of thought I had before you before this talk, yeah. But the same people that were defending Gabby for speaking out of turn, I'm pretty much willing to bet they're also the same people that would be like, oh, somebody said something racist, cancel this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Or I ain't fuck with this motherfucker. So it's like, I think that pointing out the hypocrisy isn't a bad thing. Because I feel like pointing out that, hey, we did. I look at hypocrisy is like point, or at least speaking for myself, it can be a point of showing out, oh, hey, well, maybe this thing that I say I'm about, I'm not necessarily about. And maybe that's something, if I truly care about walking the walk and talking the talk, maybe this is something I can work on. You know what I mean? Or maybe this is a blind spot that I have that, okay, maybe I could change on this. And that's how I stopped that not all man shit, because I'm like, oh, this is hypocritical of me. Or how about I talk about white folks and how annoying it is for them to be like not all white people, but then for me to turn around and be not all men when women are pointing out our issues. You know what I mean? Like,
I hit it, but my throat is killing me right now. But yeah, definitely, you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you put down. So because you can't say that that's not hypocritical. You know what I mean? And like that's not attacking, but you know it is what it is. Like if you would counsel, let's just say you was, I don't know if you were, because I know a lot of people don't eat no fucking Papa John's, but you know if you were to counsel Papa John's or stop fucking with Papa John's because they say they hear that shit about the anthem, but in the same breath, like saying, oh well, y'all need, you know, not saying get, you know, don't cast gab. I mean, essentially, you are saying that racism matters to me more than someone being stupid about rape culture or something that affects victims of sexual assault. I mean, in essence, that's kind of what you're saying. So I think a more honest conversation about, okay, maybe this problematic thing matters to me a bit more than this one.
Yeah, definitely. Like prioritizing,
because everybody counsels somebody. You know what I mean? And then here's also the thing. Like, I think people like take the term counsel literally. Like, nigga, nobody gets counseled. Like, not in like actual practice. Like, nigga, fucking 45 is a goddamn racist, a bigot, a fucking rapist, a sexual assaulter, and he is the president of the United goddamn States. R. Kelly ain't going no damn well. Fucking someone you said earlier, was it Mel Gibson? Ain't going nowhere. You might not hear from the motherfucker, but he ain't going nowhere. Chris Brown ain't going nowhere. All these motherfuckers that do fucked up shit don't go nowhere. Like, the art of counseling isn't like, oh, literally, we are going to get this motherfucker canceled that they would never. No, that's not how it works, because humans ain't shit. All it really means is a personal choice of, hey, this person did something fucked up
that I can't abide. Yeah,
that I can't abide by, and I'm pulling support. You know, I'm pulling my support if I was supporting them, and even if I wasn't supporting them before, I'm damn sure not gonna do it now. And nothing's wrong with that. Everybody does it. Everybody has a line. So I think it's our own projections and insecurities about either saying or agreeing with whatever fucked up thing has happened or someone said that makes us down these hills and defend them and bring all this conversation about growth and all this shit. Because one thing, my man Rashani, love the work him and Shantae are doing over there at Single Simulcast. Me and Candace was just on over there, and we had a great episode where they listen. For the past 6 months, they have been reading Rachel Scamazal's Book of Lies, and God bless them for doing that. They ain't doing that shit no more. And listen, fuck with them and pay them, because they deserve all the coins for reading that goddamn heifer's Book of Lies. But Rashana said this. As a matter of fact, Rashana said this on the episode that me and you were on Single Simulcast before we joined CSPN. And I never forget it. Rashana said, you are allowed to move forward and progress, but nobody has to forget or nor forgive the footprints you leave behind. He said that then, and I have that to this day. I quote him on that, and that's what I always think about with these conversation of growth or whatever, you know, whatever. Like, I did a thread a while ago and I retweeted it again. Like, listen, I am a cisgender heterosexual African American male. I was conditioned.
You are the white people or black people?
Yeah, I am the white people or black people. I was conditioned in a world, and I say this in my thread, I was conditioned and socialized into homophobia. I grew out of that shit, but I said homophobic things before. Because I have grown out of that, and I'm not homophobic now, does not erase the homophobic shit I said before. And if somebody is offended or takes issue with that, or is looking at me like, okay, you woke now, but before you was a head ass, that is perfectly their right. Like, I don't delete old tweets for a reason, because you
deleted that post though.
I damn sure did, because y'all annoying as hell, but any damn way.
Yeah, so you gonna talk about growth, but your swag was charged to the maximum, as you said.
Listen,
and you had to delete that shit. Your swag was all the way up.
Damn y'all, cause y'all annoying hell.
Come on,
any damn way.
Come on now, finish this word out. No, I'm with
you. Anyway, but I don't delete old head ass tweets for a reason. One, because I never want to forget where I came from, because that does keep me humble. Two, I want people to have the ability to judge me if they want to. Judge me as a complete human being instead of a finished product now. And even now, I'm not a finished product. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still day by day. I try to not look as funny in the light and be less of a head ass in any way I can day by day. And two, it'll be no, three is because I want people to shit, I had it in Austin. Fuck it, I had it in Austin. But anyway, I don't delete my.
I think where you're trying to go with that, you want people to know that it's okay to have make mistakes, and it's also okay to grow from them. I think I could be wrong, but
and also what I was saying is I have said homophobic things. Lil Boosie is notoriously homophobic, and you know what? When the next time that nigga say something homophobic, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say that nigga is stupid and homophobic. And just because I was homophobic before, that does not erase the fact that this nigga is still homophobic and being a goddamn dumbass and a head ass and a bigot. And the world keeps on spinning. So I really think it's our own insecurities of like, well, Gabby said that Gabby basically victim blame, and I know I have victim blamed before. I don't anymore, but I have, so I must jump on this hill to defend her instead of just calling her wrong and letting it be what it gonna be, and letting people who do want to cancel her, quote unquote, or not fuck with her anymore, let them do that instead of me having to die on this hill to defend her instead of coming to the defense of the person that she said this head that shit to, which is her own teammate and also Simone. Like I really feel like because I mean, again, in the theme of me saying, you know, sometimes I think hypocrisy is a teacher. White people do that shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't nobody. Whenever somebody say or do some racist shit, don't nobody. I mean, we don't, but don't nobody be talking about no growth and forgiveness, and you know, if they do it all, don't nobody say none of that shit for racism but white folks. They don't want to say that shit. The rest of us looking like, no, bitch. First of all, fuck him, fuck you, fuck your dog. We won't fuck with that shit over here. Not in our Caucasian ass home. We don't do that racism over here. Good damn bye. But when it's other stuff, other problematic issues and stuff, then I think we, like I said, it's our own insecurities and our own projections. We feel a need to, you know, have empathy and grace and teach and stuff, which, by the way, I know I sound harsh, but I'm not against that. I'm not against people teaching and growing, but I don't think it's old. And I think that's part of the conversation that I find issue with, because we act like it's old that someone has to have grace. It's old that someone has to walk you through your problematic issues and help you grow. It's old that we have to fuck with you even if you fuck up and say some stupid shit. It's old that we have to, you know, well, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, doesn't everybody all make mistakes? We're not talking about everybody right now. We're talking about this motherfucker that did and or said some fucked up shit. It's old that we have to have that compassion, but we're not even consistent about what's old and what's old and what's earning all this shit. So I would hope that people just listen. You don't have to fuck with nobody. If somebody does something problematic or fucked up, you do not owe them. If you choose to have grace with them and you like, I mean, it's fucked up what they did, but I'm not gonna cancel them. That is definitely your right. However, it's also the right of people to be like, you know what? Nah.
That's a bridge too far. I'm done.
Yeah, that's a bridge too far. And like, again, everybody does that shit for different shit. So I think a more concentrated conversation about, okay, this matters to me more than this, and how can I reach a middle ground of like, okay, this could matter to me a little bit more to along with this, because until all this shit is clear, until we all free on every, you know, problematic issue or whatever, ain't none of us free, you know. So that's all. That's all.
Yeah, and I mean, people are allowed to have the biases that they have and the priorities that they have, and I think the important thing is to hold yourself to your standards and hold others to the standards they have clearly set for themselves. I think that's the best way of all to really go about that, because, like, for example, obviously I care about LGBTQ issues a lot, but it's not up to me to say, Jeremy, you got to care about LGBTQ issues a lot. Like if you jump on board with that, if you say, hey, look, I host a show with somebody who, is navigating, that sense of self identity and everything else, then that's great. But like, I can't tell you, hey, you have to do this as a result of the fact that we got the show, or else I don't get to do that. It's up to you to either step into it or not. And then for me to say, all right, well, Jeremy's priorities are here, here, and here, and not over here, and that's okay because he still, at least on some level, cares about this issue, and isn't actively like denigrating toward, again, like the communities that I take residence in now. So I think that's the nuance that gets lost in this conversation all the time, and I don't necessarily feel it got lost here, but I know that, again, like when you have these things in like broader forums, everybody wants like their standards to be met, and I just think that's a hard thing to accomplish, and it's a hard thing to want. Even
I push back on that only a little bit, and only to the fact of, well, what standard are we talking about? Because I mean, if we're talking about like for the example that you use, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to expect people to care a bit more, because that's why I say a lot of times we look funny in the light, because it's like, and I think I often use race because I do think race is especially for black people, like I said, sometimes niggas need a little bit of shame.
yeah,
Sometimes niggas need a little bit of shame. Sometimes a good wig tug or a good do-rag tug or what, however, sometimes that's not necessarily a bad thing.
yeah,
Because
that's true.
I do think like it on some, again, I use race for an example. Like, because intersections exist, I do think it would be hypocritical of me to not care a lot about LGBTQIA issues as much as you do. And I mean, you're obviously in the community. I can't care as much as you do, but I can damn sure care a lot, because you are also black. Like, you are at that intersection of LGBTQIA and also black. So I can't. I feel it would be shameful to be like, okay, I care a lot with you about on racism, but then when it comes to the LGBTQIA stuff, I'm like, or like, I hear you, but I'm gonna focus more on this racism. Like, I don't think that's. I think that's, and a lot of people float this term out, and I never really understood what it meant. And still, not an expert, but I kind of see it a little bit. It's like, that's kind of that fictive kinship shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, I'm with you, my brother or my sister or my binary, in this racism, but when it comes to your issues of, for as women, like autonomy and safety, and when it comes to LGBTQIA people, oh, your safety and autonomy and your fight for your rights with your gender identity, I'm gonna go half speed on that. You know what I mean? Like, I do think a level of shame should be attached to that, because at the end of the day, all these issues are human issues. And if you can't
Yeah, definitely.
human issues with your fellow human, I do think a bit of shame should come to that, because we all don't get free if people don't care a lot. You can't
Right.
go half speed on this shit. You might not be able to have the fire of someone that's in the community, or whichever marginalized group, but you damn sure gotta care a lot, because that's the only way shit gets changed.
Exactly, and that's again, that brings everything to a meathead, at least, because again, like I said, I do this just on my own, just like reminder of humanity level type shit. But like, I can only really hold other people, like, just in terms of like the lives they live, to the standards they set for themselves. I don't get to tell them, hey, you have to be like me on this. I can say it would be great if you met me where I am on this issue in this way. I can say that until I'm multiple colors in the face. But again, what I like to avoid from doing as best I can anyway, to be just a good citizen, period, at this shit, is again, I hold people to the standards that they set for them. Like, and I'm not saying that my way of doing it's the right way or it's the only way or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a good mantra to have. And then once people are living up to the standards they set for themselves, then you can bring them into like hey, like I understand that you only feel like this about this issue, or you don't really fuck with the LGBT community in this way, and here's how and why that's fucked up, and here's how you can be better about it. And I think that bringing people in that way, at least for me anyway, has brought me more success than when I used to just shout at motherfuckers for being uninformed or uneducated on certain issues. Because when I was like, again, fire in the veins about the shit, like people just pushed away even harder. And when I became, hey, look, like let's sit down and let's rap about this. People started seeing my way a lot more. It's the whole catch more flies with honey than with shit situation, right?
I hear you, but then like, but that's with everything, right? You know what I mean? Like, some people you can meet where they are, but with a lot of people, because I mean, it's sad, but a lot of people push back even if you are nice. You know what I mean? Like that's,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is something that's real, and I think we don't, and I'm not saying everybody, but I think we don't like to talk about that because it's not, fun, but a lot of people, that's why I don't really give a fuck, like when women say men are trash, because it's like, and men push back on that shit. It was like, well, we hear you, but well, if your message was nicer, no. Y'all niggas wouldn't give y'all niggas would not care even if women were nice about this shit. Like,
exactly, yeah.
So like, and again, like, it's worked for you, and that's great. But for others, and in general, I really think people, especially people with privilege or whatever privilege you have, I think people default to not hearing and not caring, and then it's an uphill from there. Like the default is however you say this shit, I'm not gonna give a fuck however you say this shit. And then the upward tick from that is, okay, if you say it this way, then I might listen. If you say it this way, I might listen. But the default is, it's not me, I don't really give a shit about this. But we spend enough time on that. Work on yourself, be nice to yourself and others, and also try to, and this is not coming off as an attacking, because I'm this what Dan said, holding this to myself. Like, I tweeted this when this was all happening. I try to look a little less funny in the light day by day, and working on all the problematics and all this in the shit that I have to work on, as well as holding myself to a high standard, as well as other people, because I do think holding people to higher standards is a good thing. I think that's how we grow, and the end game should be, as a society, we should grow. We should be better as a society, together, and as we get better as a society together, shit like this changes. But we gonna end on a light note. We do have some misconnections. I actually have 5, but we ain't gonna read all 5 of these shits. And I have these from the city of Dallas because they took the biggest L in the NFL this week. I think. I'm thinking about it. Hold on. Hold on.
Buffalo took the
Rams.
biggest L with the Peterman.
Who?
Buffalo took the biggest L. They started the Peterman this week, remember?
The Peterman. Who the hell is the Peterman?
The bench Tyrod. They put the Peterman in. And the Peterman went out and threw 5 interceptions. So here's how the Peterman's day went Sunday. Peterman was named the starting quarterback Wednesday. So he practiced, all week, obviously. And Peterman completed 6 passes out of 14 for 66 yards. And the way all his passes went goes like this. 6 of his passes were completed to his teammates. 8 of his passes hit the dirt. 5 of his passes were completed to the members of the San Diego Chargers.
Damn shame what they
did.
But
here's the thing. We got the misconnections from Dallas. We can go ahead and do that because, Dallas took a substantial L, like, given the circumstances.
See, I didn't even know about the Buffalo game, so I didn't. My bad. But
yeah, no, it's cool. To be fair, it would be easy to forget because, it was the Chargers, granted. But, yeah, the Peterman went out there and made his coach look bad. Like, and I don't think it was the coach necessarily. I think that, like, somebody in the front office wants the Peterman to be the quarterback for the Bills. But, yeah, Peterman showed that, yeah, he ain't equipped for this life yet. And
I love how we're referring to him as the Peterman. I love it.
That's who he is. He's the Peterman. His name is Nathan Peterman. I don't know actually where he went to school. I have no idea. But yeah, he is AKA the Peterman. And yeah, Peterman went out there and he threw 5 interceptions in the first half. That's what I left out. He didn't play the whole game.
Jesus.
Now, again, if this was one of those situations where it's like, hey, the coach clearly is in over his head in this way, and this is a decision of the front office, you got to leave Peterman in the game. You got to let him play the whole game. Let him throw 10 interceptions if that's what it takes. Because you want to, in the name of seeing if this is your guy or not. Because again, he's a 5th-round rookie who has been inserted into the starting lineup. The Bills were 5-2, had a Thursday night game, I think on the road, lost that game to the Jets, and then got the ass beat by my Saints. And then they made the decision.
Oh, they your Saints again? What about your Titans?
I'm sorry, what?
What you heard me? What about your Titans?
I ain't hear nothing. Yeah, so they decided at 5-4, still in playoff contention, that they was gonna turn to the Peterman. And I don't get it, because I mean, yeah, the Saints defense, you know, they had themselves a day or whatever, but Tyrod is who quarterbacked you this far into the situation, such to where you had 5 wins and 2 losses entering this 2-week stretch of just bad play, not just by him, but by everybody. Like, the whole Bills have been just not that good. But I guess they figured the easy thing to do was to blame Tyrod. And,
blame the black man.
Of course. And they put in, like, again, this wasn't like they had, like, the 3rd overall pick sitting there waiting in the wings. This was the Peterman. Come on now. 5th round rookie. From, again, don't ask me what school he went to. I don't know.
I don't know, but I do know we had these misconnections.
I only got 2 from Dallas, and I'm chill with the misconnections coming from Dallas. I'm simpatico about that shit because they took that L on national TV, and Dak he picked a hell of a night to have his worst game as a pro. Ooh. So yeah.
Ooh, damn shame what they did to that Dak. But all right, so I only got 2, and then we're gonna wrap up and get out of here. It's all right. Everyone does. You don't know me and probably never will. We have so much in common, but poison runs through my veins and your smile is blades that set it free. People often speak about missed opportunities, like moments sitting on the roadside zipping by faster than you can notice. But life isn't that. You stand on the edge of what will and what may. A cord suspends the two of you. You must tip one over to fall. Interesting. Choice is okay. I'll get it together, Jeremy. Choice is entropy. For everything you do, you must Okay. For everything you must do, you must kill a future. Murder a path not taken. No second chances. If you ever go back, you're standing at a different place. Can and must wear different faces. I'm far too afraid, too far along to wait for you. You pour love into me and it flows out of the holes I've made. I'm empty now again and I don't think you can fix it. The end.
I see David has moved to Dallas and is taken to writing obscure poetry on Facebook. Word.
He moved to Dallas and is taking up political science.
Oh no, he finished his political science degree. That I'm certain of. But yeah, now this is what David has given us as a result. Because I already don't remember nothing he said in that shit. That was just way.
Nigga, who reading all this shit?
There you go.
Okay. All right. So that was
Thank you, David.
That was a lot of nothing, but anyway.
Right.
Black guy. So it's been a while since we messed around. Not sure if I'm tripping, but I feel like I seen you today. We messed around back in like October, I think, and I think you told me you were 25. First time we met, we went to your place. I told you some stuff. Not looking for any relationship wise, just low key miss being used and getting fucked. LOL. I don't mind messing around long term. If you see this and want to lick up again, reply with anything you remember, like where I live, where I work, or even what I told you. Anyways, looking forward to your reply. The end.
All right. No, this is actually a strong misconnection. In that this person wants they want their old thing back, and I don't see nothing really wrong with that, other than the fact that they're using Craigslist to get that old thing back.
Correct.
But yeah, you could. I'm gonna just say this: you could do worse.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of the Crown and College misconnection, we've read worse.
And I mean, this is no Willie James situation, of course, but
The GOAT.
I really wish we could find that episode again. Like I know the range it was in, but I gotta go back and listen to all of them now, man. And
Willie James.
Because Willie James was, I mean, that was a man who knew he wanted out of this life.
Willie James wasn't playing with these hoes. All right. I think that's it. This has been kind of a lengthy show. Hopefully it will get you through your pre-Thanksgiving day.
Yep, because I'm taking next week off. I know I have to work next week, so
yes. So
this better be enough show for two. Because Dan ain't got the 10 next week.
Keep getting checks.
Yeah, like I said, next week I know I got to work. It's an all hand situation to get with the gig, so that's just life sometimes. But hey, yeah, you got a lot of Crown and College this week, a lot of Crown and a lot of Collards.
That is correct. Like I said, if you like what you heard, go ahead and drop us, share the show, like the show, leave us a review. We'll read it when we have one of those light shows. Make sure you check out all of the wonderful shows on the CSPN network. And yeah, be a greater whole, not a hater whole. And yeah, all that good stuff. And again, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, do better, be better.
And if you're black, don't let yourself get replaced by the Peter man.
Correct. And with that, we out. Bye, y'all.
Peace.